Tonight, more questions emerge about SML's 3 billion CD revenue savings scandal as GRA's intervention throws up more contradictions.
What we did was not even the accurate figure because they're not GRA.
That's 3 billion. That's why I told you from the beginning. I said I don't know about this 3 billion.
We can confidently say that there has been an average monthly increase of 100 million litres. So if you multiply it by 24 months, that will arrive at the 3 billion that we talked about.
We have the latest as the GRA confirms a directive from the Finance Ministry for SML's contract in the downstream petroleum sector to be expanded to cover the upstream and mining sectors.
This is Top Story with Evans Mensah.
And Top Story is always brought to you by Vodafone. Tonight, more questions are emerging about the Strategic Mobilization Limited SML's 3 billion CD revenue savings scandal after the Ghana Revenue Authority intervened, throwing up more questions. The GRA is dismissing claims that the company's operations have not yielded revenue savings in excess of 3 billion cedis. A documentary titled The 3 Billion CD Lie by the Ford Estate alleges that the Finance Ministry had ordered the expansion of the SML contract for the next 10 years, which they estimated could make the company $100 million annually. The investigations alleged this expansion was directed despite the company making false claims regarding how much it had saved the country through revenue assurance in the downstream sector. Well, today the GRA, in a statement, backed the revenue-saving claims, insisting the contract expansion is for 5 and not 10 years. My colleague Samuel Mbura is with me in the studio. Samuel, break this down for us. What is the background to this issue between SML, of course, and the GRA with the Finance Ministry's own directive lately?
Well, Evan, so the contract is actually in 3 parts. One was supposed to start in 2019, which is the downstream petroleum sector. Another one, which is the upstream petroleum production, is supposed to also kickstart in 2023, same as the minerals and metals resources value chain 2023. Now, GRA says that the new and consolidated contract, which is for a term, is for a term of 5 years, not 10 years, as published by the Fourth Estate. And he says that, or GRA says that, this was agreed upon on the performance of SML in monitoring the downstream petroleum sector and the provision of instant reconciliation of real-time data in the sector.
Now, they talk about performance. They've been assessing SML's performance in the statement that they released. What have they been saying about it?
Well, the GRA is claiming that prior to the agreement with SML, their system was manually operated for the measurement of fuels in the various depots. According to the GRA, they were using the dipsticks for measurement, which was archaic and posed a risk to officers who climbed the ladder to measure the fuel in the tankers. It was also inefficient, according to the GRA, and prone to revenue leakages. The GRA further notes that the current oil deposited by the bulk oil distribution companies in the depots is measured by SML with the aid of sensors installed on the depot. So these sensors are called the red flow meters. During offloading from the depots, SML again measures all the various liftings of the oil marketing company. So these are some of the performances that the company, the GRA, has been making about SML. It goes further to say that all these pieces of information are captured and reconciled with data from the ICOMs. This is done with the GRA Petroleum Unit, and if there are discrepancies, the customs inform the oil marketing companies to enter a post-entry to correct these differences. Evans, according to GRA, SML in the petroleum sector also provides additional data independent of the customs ICOMS data capable of validating anomalies. in quantities imported, discharged, and accounted for by way of taxes. The 4 point the GRA is making is that the revenue assurance exercise undertaken by EY Ghana and later by the Revenue Assurance and Compliance Enforcement of the Ministry of Finance confirmed systematic deficiencies in the accounting and collection of petroleum taxes between 2015 and 2020. The GRA stresses that the mode of transmission of data from various sources and systems was fraught with inconsistencies, resulting in loss of revenue. Extensive reconciliation had also been done on the various platforms and institutions within the petroleum downstream value chain to collect revenue that would have otherwise been lost. The final assessment of SML's work on their performance.
And that's where they address this 3 billion CD claim.
Exactly, Evans. So GRA says that the work of SML over the period has led to a significant increase in the figures reported in the downstream petroleum sector from an average of 350 million litres per month in 2018 and 2019 to 450 million litres per month from 2020 to 2021. The GRA says that this represents over a 33% increase in volumes reporting and an average of an extra 100 million litres per month at a levy rate of 1 cedi 44 pesos. The extra revenue variance gained for the 2 years will exceed 3 billion cedis. This performance is attributable mainly to the introduction of ICOMS and the SML systems.
Okay, so that's the GRA there backing that earlier claim that had been made and was captured on the SML website. But remember, a few issues come up once you listen and read the GRA statement, because the managing director, the MD of SML, when confronted with these numbers, denied that they actually make the savings amounting to 3 billion. And Manasseh and Co. put that to the MD and Mrs. Soti at the time, and he was categorical that they have nothing to do with the 3 billion. They don't know about the 3 billion, and that what they save can be 3 billion.
Yeah. That's why that 3 billion, I'm not. That's why I told you from the beginning. I said I don't know about this 3 billion.
We cannot say your intervention saved 3 billion.
No, I said 3 billion. I'm not. I've told you that I'm not aware. Because when we were told about the publication, we even called it.
As we speak this morning, it's still on your website.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. To be honest, I don't even know website matter.
And then yesterday, you were at the SML premises. The Prince Sapon, who is the head of IT, then contradicts his boss, who had made these pronouncements earlier in an interview with Manasseh and team, now saying, well, I can prove to you that we saved the state 3 billion.
Evans, that was the interesting twist. I actually posed that question to him, and what he told us was that from the start of operations of SML since 2019, he can confidently say that they have saved 3 billion cedis in their operations.
So in estimate, what actually happened with the 3 billion is, as I talked about, the money is all about the volumes. So if there's an increase in volume, there's an increase in revenue. And since SML started operation, we can confidently say that there has been an average monthly increase of 100 million litres. So if you multiply it by 24 months, with the tax component that we are not even using the 1.74, we are using the old tax component, which is 1.44, that will arrive at the 3 billion that we talked about.
But since yesterday, another video has now emerged that, again, in which we see this same head of IT also siding with his boss before he came to contradict him yesterday. That, listen, we haven't said anywhere that we've saved 3 billion.
Exactly. So this video was secured from the Fourth Estate at the time they were conducting the investigation. When the question was posed to the boss and he was struggling to answer, this head of IT, Prince Sapon, came to explain that he never made any comment that triggered a report by the media that they are saving 3 billion cedis.
That publication that came out, it was not really the report that has said.
Then when we protested, that they should.
Protested. So if you look at that publication, it was just consultation between SML and GRA. And we're doing a presentation. So let me. We are doing a presentation. We're talking about accuracy. In that report, we never said that we are giving accurate revenue. The whole report, if you look at it, was a consultation. It was a collaboration between GRA board when they came to our fit and SML. So in that presentation, journalists were here. I did the presentation. So in that presentation, I was giving them expected revenue. That was what I was giving them. It was expected revenue. That is what the last presentation I did per our audit system. Our system can generate expected revenue. So what we did was not even the accurate figure. We never talked about accuracy because we are not GRA. Only GRA can give you accurate figure. So when we are talking about this, it depends on how it was reported. So it didn't. No one actually said that we actually generated as like accurate. Yes. So they said there's a caption by a journalist.
The problem here is that the journalist made a mistake. It is also on your website even this morning as we speak. And this has been there since February. So if the journalist does a mistake and then reports something I did not say, and I go to put that same thing on my website.
But please, when after that's the caption, have you read the story? Yes. And what?
And let's return to the GRA statement today. We know that when Manasseh and Co did this work, they did it together with the GRA. In fact, at the point when they went to the SML offices, they went with the GRA. They had actually spoken to GRA customs officers on this. What is it that they were told from the document that we've watched from the GRA themselves?
Well, Manasseh was asking about whether they use the US ML data for their revenue calculation or not. And the officer in charge, who was actually part of the technical team, Samuel Arthur, explained that that is not the data they use.
It has been the way-based figure, which is meters, the volume that is being dispensed from the meters. That is the volume we use for tax purposes.
Switch meters.
That is the gantry meters.
I want to bring in Manasseh Zuriawuni into the conversation. He's joining us on the line now. Manasseh, so we've heard from the GRA now. They affirm that, yes, SML's work saves the state in actually more than 3 billion cedis. What do you say to that?
Well, Evans, you have seen the contradictions from these officials. One thing that is yet to be added was that when these SML officials were denying that they ever saved the nation this amount, the GRA officials that we went with, and at every point that we were with SML, there were GRA officials from the petroleum sector. They also said that they were so surprised when they saw the publication that SML saved 3 billion cedis. We took delivery of the revenue from the GRA, from the petroleum sector, from 2012 to 2022. And in each of the years, the revenue was growing. So there isn't any significant change when SML came in. And one Samson Enim, who spoke in that documentary, he is the head of petroleum at the GRA, and he says in this documentary that what helped them to be able to get correct revenues are the figures they get through the ERGMS. That the ERGMS is connected to the ICOMS, that's the customs system. Now the question is, who runs the ERGMS? It is not SML. It is the National Petroleum Authority that runs the ERGMS. So if you look at these explanations that are coming and you compare it with what GRA officials from the petroleum sector, we spoke to at least 3 of them who voluntarily gave information on the operations at the sector, you would realize that there are so many contradictions. Even at the depots, the GRA official we spoke to said that without the systems, that's where SML operates. And this person says, even without the system, it is almost impossible. This is what her words. It is almost impossible to lose product at the depots. And that's where SML works. The problems that GRA and MPA and other authorities were grappling with were what happened when the petroleum product was lifted from the loading gantries, and there were diversions, there were dilutions, there were under the declaration, there are people who would take it and then not pay taxes. And all the companies that are working to curb this, SML doesn't play any role in that part. So when you listen to what their officials said voluntarily in that documentary, you would come to a single conclusion that there are so many contradictions after the operations of this company was really exposed.
Let me also ask you about the contract, because the GRA today says in the statement that, quote, by implication, if there is no value addition, SML is not paid. And they describe this as a risk-reward contract. And I'm talking about the contract that has been extended based on the Finance Ministry's directive. What did you find?
Evans Mensah, if you ever get to interview any GRA official or any Ministry of Finance official who is defending this contract, just ask them the simple question: what value addition is SML Ghana bringing to the upstream petroleum sector? What value addition is SML Ghana bringing to the gold production sector? SML Ghana is not going to be paid based on value addition. The contract is clear, and I'm sharing copies of the contract on my Facebook page. And I've sent some to you. You can publish them on my Joy Online. The contract says they are going to be paid $0.75 per barrel of oil that is produced. So as long as there is production and as long as SML claims to be monitoring, they are going to take money. They will only not make money when gold production stops or when oil production stops. The 160,000 to 170,000 barrels of fuel that we produce every day, SML, if they start this project, are going to make $120,000 US. That is the $0.75 per barrel. If you go to the gold sector, they are going to make 0.75% of total production that they will claim to monitor. It has nothing to do with value addition. So that press statement by the the Ghana Revenue Authority, I'll be grateful if you ever send reporters there to interview them and let them tell Ghanaians that what value addition in the downstream sector where SML currently operates, every liter of petroleum product that flows through or that is lifted, they have 5 pesewas that they take. And that's a contract that gives them about 24 million Ghana cedis every month. It has nothing to do with value addition. It only has to do with the product flowing through. And SML does not increase the volumes. I have told you revenue figures that we obtained from the GRA shows that from 2012 to 2022, every single year, there was an increment, even without SML coming in. So it isn't true that this company is going to add, but they are going to be paid based on value addition.
And also
While
the GRA
produces,
also the GRA today in the statement says that you have said the contract is for 10 years. They say it's not 10, it's 5.
Yes, we saw some documents which I'm also sharing. I think page 13 of the 54-page contract mentioned 10 years. If they have reviewed it to 5 years, we requested documents officially from them. They have not responded to us. But if they have reviewed it, it doesn't change the fact that for the next 5 years, SML will be making more than $100 million from this contract. And we have stated how we came by this calculation. They have not, both the SML and also in the GRA press statement, challenged the fact that this company will be making over $100 million. And we are also even learning that they are doing some price verification and then some price audit also at the ports. So what we are looking at, this company may actually be making far more than we have so far discussed. And if you go to the website of the SML, before these two new contracts came, we have external price verification and also some auditing that they claim to be doing at the port. So, Evans, this is worse than perhaps we think.
Manasseh, stay with me. Let me bring in Kwame Jantua, who is an energy analyst. Also, I've been looking at the documents. Mr. Jantua, thank you for your time here on Top Story. You've seen the GRA statement. You've seen the evidence produced by the Fourth Estate. Where do you stand on this?
Evans, thank you, and good evening to your listeners. Evans, let me ask the question. Do you really think the regulatory bodies, MPA, BOSS, all those people, are sitting doing absolutely nothing? Is that what they're trying to tell us? That those people who have the capacity and given the responsibility to regulate, they've done absolutely nothing? That they're telling us that they brought in what? Meters and all that. And MPA are sitting. They've done absolutely nothing about it. Why is it that from the word go, if the Ministry of Finance found that there was a challenge with the taxes, with refined petroleum products, strategies, why didn't they first go to the MPA to ask them? Guys, this is what we've identified. GRA are saying XYZ. What is it that we can do to strengthen what you're doing to make it possible? But they rather brought another company in. Number two, why isn't the finance minister saying anything? Why is he silent?
Well, I mean, the GRA is an agency under the finance ministry. So if the GRA has spoken, isn't it the finance ministry directly?
No. I don't buy that. Who gave them the contract? Was it GRA who gave them the contract? GRA is party to the contract, but the institution that gave them the contract was the Ministry of Finance. It wasn't the GRA. Look, all this type of covering for this one, covering for that one, they should drop it. Because if you go on the street and you ask Ghanaians today, they will say this particular deal is wrong. They should stop it. You're trying to tell me the regulatory companies they are not doing any work. You know what you're trying to tell me? Well, I find it so difficult, Aaron.
Let me bring in the ranking member on the Mines and Energy Committee, John Junapo, who has also been studying the GRA statement today. Mr. Junapo, we've asked earlier for a probe into this. You've actually suggested parliamentary probe. Then we saw the petition to the OSP. Haven't seen now the GRA statement. Do you think that is still necessary?
It even worsens the situation. Indeed, it exacerbates the situation, and it even reinforces and strengthens my call for an abrogation of the contract. First of all, the GRA should tell us why SML. What are their core competences? What makes them so unique and so special that despite all the measures MPA has put in place and linking that system with ICOMS, GRA still believes that they have to go and put a dipstick to check the volume of petroleum products in the tanks. I mean, this is so mind-boggling.
But the justification there, I see, there's a line in there in the statement that says they're using cutting-edge technology.
And I'm telling you that the MPA told the whole Mines and Energy Committee that they have a superior technology. And their technology today can deal with this situation. So the next question is that did GRA confer with NPA? Was there a study? Was there a report that shows that NPA lacks the capacity? That's the first thing every serious government does. You conduct a situational analysis and generate a report that says that there are these losses, NPA doesn't have the capacity, you believe that you cannot depend on NPA, and so you should outsource. And this is the criteria for outsourcing. You invite companies to bring their bids in terms of expression of interest. You winnow down and get the best candidate. This is not rocket science. This is not rocket science. Moreover, how much have they paid so far to this company? They don't want to disclose that. And they are quoting some bogus revenue figures.
How do you come to the conclusion that it's bogus?
I've been checking the 2021 budget, 2022 budget, 2023 budget, and checking the outends. I can tell you, for instance, in 2022, They budgeted to collect 80 billion. They ended with 69 billion. And they budgeted with the 80 billion because they believe that these systems will help them. What they do is that media, they deliberately come and lower the threshold. And so it's bogus. Moreover, in any serious jurisdiction, when you increase taxes and introduce a plethora of taxes, such as financial sector levy, pollution levy, energy sector levy, all kinds of levies that they introduce, the tax revenue will go up. They're not just normal.
But they also talk about increasing volumes, right? 350 million liters per month in 2018 and 2019 to 450 million liters per month.
Who are the culprits?
And they attribute that to SML.
So you discount the normal volumetric increase on a yearly basis first, because our consumption has always been increasing. And two, I said that you do a situational analysis with the MPA first. And that's what I think Parliament should demand for. That where is the report? That's what every serious government does. You just don't get up and do sole sourcing and go and pick SML. Why SML? What is so special about SML? What is their track record? What have they done before? What is their line of business? Those are the questions we ought to be probing as members of Parliament, so that there will be value for money. And now you are extending it to the oil sector. Recently, when we raised issue with the oil sector, they said they had flow meters. They themselves, this same GRA, told us that they had enough flow meters and that there were no issues. And yet you are going to give this to them and they will take $0.75 a barrel. We do about 55 million barrels. When you multiply that, if you have to do each barrel, because what they have to ensure is that all the companies, their barrel is well accounted for. This company could be walking away with $38 million per annum. In the mineral sector, they could be walking away with another $50 million per annum. So I even think the fourth estate were charitable. They were charitable. They decided to give a conservative figure. This contract, by all intents and purposes, whether you fry it, whether you cook it, whether you earn it, it's a bad contract, it's inimical, it doesn't add any value, and I hold the view that this contract, if allowed to continue, would only enrich the pockets of some few greedy individuals. It must be abolished without delay.
Mr. Jinapo, thank you very much. Kwame Janto, I'm grateful that you joined me. Manasseh, do you have any update from the OSP?
Well, Evans, we have no update from the OSP for now, but I hope and the information we have is that the OSP will act on this and we will hear what the OSP intends to do. But for now, there isn't, nobody has been invited yet. I last checked.
Manasseh, thank you very much. That's Manasseh Zuriawuni. He, together with his colleagues at Fourth Estate, brought to us this investigation, which today has triggered the extensive response from the Ghana Revenue Authority. Their response is on myjoyonline.com. Read it and make up your own mind. This is Top Story. Newsnight starts now.